Hello, 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 hello. I'm Lynn Browder, and I have a son, Owen, who is 13 and has autism. We paint together, working on his fine motor skills. He helps me paint the backgrounds of our paintings, and then I paint the rest. He is now starting to do more of the backgrounds without my help. He does kind of a lot of the swirl motions, and then we go back and kind of work through more of it. So he's truly come a long way. Let's see, I always seem to stick this out the wrong, not in the right proportions here. So I'm gonna try to, and you're like, what are you making? Well, I'll tell you in just a second if I get the proportion right. Otherwise, we're gonna change it and pretend like I was never making it. That's how it happens, you see. Bunny. There you go, bunny. That is what I'm making. And sometimes I haven't done one in quite some time. I don't remember the last time I did one, but sometimes I do them a little, it's like everything. I'm trying to make myself concentrate more on doing certain details and certain things than just kind of putting it out there. But some nights, like tonight, I'm beyond exhausted. So we'll see how. I'm like way off, I think. Yeah, my eyes are just really for some reason I've been like moving my things over more, and it just, I never truly have anything proportionate, like correctly proportionate, but sometimes I get a little bit closer to where it's half, but for some reason everything seems to be shifting when I've been painting, so we'll see if I get it back on track here. We'll see what happens. But I'm at least gonna get part of this, like I want it to start drying some here. But when you're going through, I'll do the ears in a minute. I want the face to dry a little bit while I'm doing the other. So I'm gonna put some little like I keep wanting to say feathers, fur. That's why I was like, there are words in my mind that are not wanting to come out. So eventually I will tell you what I'm trying to say. But until then, let's just pretend that I'm talking. Oh, it's been a long day. It's been one of those days where rough. It was a very rough day. but it was very, I want to say helpful in the grand scheme of life with Owen, because he was able to express a lot of his emotions. I mean, he was up extremely early, and I'm trying to get him, and you think you're going through and doing it the right way, and then I don't know if anybody else does, I second guess any and everything, because I want him to learn, and he is amazing, and the things that this dude has stored in his mind are just beyond. I mean, he's absolutely incredible when it comes to all of this. But I also want him to understand that we can't all be at the same emotions all the time. Like, there are days that nothing he says is what's upsetting me. Like, there's nothing he's doing that has got me worked up or upset, or that he's not doing anything to cause me to have a moment. And then there's days where he's licking my head because he thinks that's funny, or he's laughing, or going to act like he's gonna bite me, or something, which he hasn't done that in a very long time, thankfully, but he acts like he's gonna do these things. And I mean, it's my 13-year-old son, and I'm having to explain to someone, because he'll walk up to me, and then he's literally trying to lick the top of my head. And and he talks about spitting on people, and he doesn't generally even do these things. Like, he does lick my head, but the spitting on people, but he talks a lot about it. And so trying to get him to understand that emotions, we have to respect people for their thoughts and what they're thinking, and how they're feeling. And that really is a hard thing for him, because he doesn't always get why or what someone else is thinking about, or any of that. And so trying to convince him that certain things are just wrong, or not something he should do, it's hard to figure out. But where I started with that is teaching him that not all emotions are revolving around him, or are necessarily bad, or not. Emotions are valid. And so teaching him to deal with his own emotions, and deal with other people's emotions, because he doesn't necessarily know how to process somebody else's emotions. And so that in itself is quite a big thing, because he doesn't need to bear the brunt of every emotion that I have. But when I talk to him, I want him to understand that he's going to have emotions, and so am I. And it could be just, I'm not feeling good that day, and no matter who talks to me or how you talk to me, I'm not going to be able to feel, something, or feel right, or just a million different things, So it's kind of hard for him to grasp it all. And he's come, oh my word, the dude is come so far, and where he's at right now, and getting a lot of these emotions, is truly incredible. I mean, he's come so far. So looking at that, I definitely want him to understand what emotions are about, but I don't want him to ever think they're all about him. But I also want him to understand that just because they're not about him doesn't mean he can't be involved with my emotions, like that he can't feel sorry for me or can't help me or can't something. And so that's kind of where a lot of trying to decide if I wanted to do it up, if he would look more like he was smiling. But that's the thing is just because he sees my emotions, I don't want him to ever just think it's about him. A lot said to get in circles there, but I want him to know that he does not cause every emotion that's being put into my mind. Now, he may trigger emotions, like he asked about Uncle Richard. Uncle Richard, my brother Richard, he passed away. It's still, it's going on 4 years, and it does not. Some days are even harder than others. But Owen asked about him all the time. He asked and asked and asked and asked and asked. And Owen's not causing me pain from him, him being in questioning or him talking about it or anything. It's just me losing him, my brother, so trying to teach Owen when emotions don't necessarily intersect with what he's talking about, or he may have triggered an emotion, but he didn't do it out of meanness or spite or any of those things. He did it just because. And that's the part that really has to kind of develop for Owen, because it's hard to be in that middle ground of what is happening, what is being said, what is being done, and going from there. So teaching my son, who loves to say the opposites of things, how to always give kindness and grace to everybody, and not necessarily have it where he is taking all of it in, or fault, because it's not his fault. But when he doesn't quite, he's just learning how to deal with so many of his own emotions, that learning about others and how to kind of work on that type of thing, it's still so much. So that in itself is a big thing. So we're working on it. And yesterday he had his therapy, and he generally has 3 sessions. Well, he knew one of his therapists was going to be gone, and I had told him that by the time we got to his therapy, he knew that one therapist was not going to be there. But he did not, nor did I even realize that the other two therapists that he was going to have were going to be in the opposite time frames. And so we've been working through a lot of emotions with Owen, with his therapist, and with things that he's trying to learn, and just a lot of that. He has one therapist that he wants to wear very specific clothing all the time, and we're really trying to work with him on that. So I'm about to do a lot of little eyelashes and eyebrows and our whiskers. So if I pause a lot, it's because I can't think and draw straight lines, or not technically straight lines, at the same time. But anyways, so they switched time frames, and one was before the other. Well, he woke up around, well, I'm not even gonna guess. It was 2-ish, 3-ish, and 4-ish. And I can't, this way's easy, and it's the same thing, but it's like I get all flustered when I have to go this way. I gotta concentrate. He got upset because they were the opposite of each other, and that threw him off. And so he woke up, and he's never really been able to tell me that makes me excited when I kind of get them halfway similar on the first try. So anyways, he was able to tell me that he was upset because they were in the opposite slots. He was supposed to see the one first, and he saw the other one first. Well, that's huge, because that, in itself was just amazing, that he could go in there and tell me that he was upset because he was seeing the different therapist at the different times. And it's a big thing. It's a big step for him to, it was in the middle of the night, so I wasn't thrilled with the timing. But for him to say that he was upset because the therapists were in the wrong time frame, it gives me goosebumps, because that's huge. That literally is so big. It's so much. It's so incredibly amazing that he was able to do this. And so just to know that he could explain and tell me that him not having them in order the way he thought it was going to happen was just such a relief to me. And it, like I said, it gives me goosebumps, because it's a big deal. It's a big deal for him to be able to kind of express what's bothering him, and how many nights we've woke up and he not be able to tell me what's wrong or why. And for him to be able to say to me last night that he was sad and it was hard because his therapists were in the wrong order. It's huge. It's huge because knowing that, I told his therapist, I said, I felt like we had made such an incredible breakthrough because they can easily tell me what order they're going to be in. Like they can, I mean, had I just been able to tell him, you know, and I could have, I mean, if I had known that them not being in the order, if I had been able to tell him that the order was going to change, then he would have maybe had a better session. They both said he did okay, but they even said, you know, he was struggling with different things, and but you don't necessarily put it together like it's what's keeping him up at night. And so I think about this and I pray that now that we know it, it'll be easier on him. And I was started to say, I told his therapist that he was able to tell me last night, and one of them, she said that absolutely, you know, that they can 100% tell me. She said, we'll even make sure to tell you ahead of time to make sure that he doesn't have, at least, he may have other obstacles for other reasons, but he doesn't have to have that obstacle, because it can be easily figured out. And so just knowing that one little detail is gonna help him. I was trying to get the hair out of that ear and I wasn't pushing. But just knowing that one little detail, that's gonna help in so many ways. And maybe it won't be as hard on him next time if he at least knows that ahead of time, and maybe we can sleep. But I'm so thankful. I'm so thankful that he was at least able to tell me. Whew. I'm getting some little hairs up here. a hair-raising experience. Okay, I'm not going to do too much more because then I get slap happy and get him all messed up. So we do O for Owen since he helps me with the backgrounds, and then L, whoa, and B. We got kind of a mess going on here, but that's okay. All right, there he is. Thanks so much for watching and being a part of our day. Toodles, toodles.